And today, what we want to do is to open the doors to a digital workplace. So it's going to be a new type of format that we are trying, because it's like a chat tech talk. So we are going to talk about some of our challenges and how we overcome them. So right now, I think everybody is gotten to quite used to it. People used to generally be working in the office, and sometimes when you are not in the office, your boss or your managers might think that, hey, is he on leave, or is this guy still working? So before this work from home and remote work scenario, all of us are like, we go to the office, and we only work in the office. And if you don't see the person in the office, you might think that person is not available or not, and probably at home. But now, work can be widely accepted as both remote and local, because you'll be able to see your colleagues, your customers, and teammates, even when you are in remote locations. So work has also become more dynamic and agile. You'll be able to work in anywhere, and as long as you have connectivity, you'll be able to get some kind of communications and work done. So the climate has also changed and evolved to a state that um, more new methods of collaboration and communication are also readily accepted. So previously, when you are using a tablet or mobile phone in the office, your boss or your managers, or even older colleagues might think that, hey, are you like chatting up your friend and something like that? But right now it's different, because your business apps are also on your tablet and mobile phones. So this is the ideal situation, when you walk into your office, or when people go to your room or your house, and then you find that a digital knowledge worker or somebody is has a good setup, ready to accept work. But normally this is not really the case, and you know there's a challenge that is also faced by me and some of the other friends that I know, and I think we'll pass it over to Perlin to share some of the challenges.
Yeah, that's true. As Koo said, a lot of things have changed in the recent times, the way we work and how we get together and get things done, right? But we miss very nice things that we used to have when we were in an office space together, like working together, or probably going to your colleagues or teammates for some inputs on the projects that you are working on, or some feedback on how well you are doing, or how good is your content or presentation, or just about anything that you're working on. So, like he had explained, the workforce is more and more mobile now. You can work from wherever you are. It is not the same as how it used to be. So, it has changed from being separated by just a few steps. I mean, I still remember how I just used to roll my chair to the colleague next to me, to my teammate, and just ask, "What do you think about this document? Should I change anything?" Or just ask for feedback on a customer email that I receive, or how I should respond to it. So it was just a very few steps between the two of us, or between me and my team. So it was very easy to get feedback. But now we are separated by miles. So there, some of us are even countries apart, continents apart, for that matter. So now that little niceties that we used to have, we cannot do that anymore, given the nature of the workforce and how it has been changing. So during these times, there are some common challenges and questions, and even I can even call it frustrations that we have, right? So these questions are: who's working on this document? Is that only me, or is that somebody else working? Or should I take this up? Or am I going to overwrite somebody's work? So this is one question that I get, and most of us get. And then about the version, is this the latest version we are working on, or has anybody changed it? So what about, what are the changes that were made? So there are some questions like that. And then of course we get overwhelmed sometimes and wish we had some input, or just some moral support of somebody, or just someone to say that this looks good, this is good to go. And then when there is an important event coming up, or there is an important client presentation for that matter, and you're not able to find the presentation. So that's a disaster, right? Not able to know where the presentation is, and you have to send an email now, and you're not sure if this is the right tone for the email, if you should actually be sending this email. So we get those questions in our mind, and then suddenly you open the spreadsheet you're working on, and there are rows and rows of duplicate data. So all these are real problems that crop up, especially when we cannot talk to each other. I'm sure you will agree with some of them, and if you have any more challenges or questions also, you can chat with us. So the solution we propose is not just to have the right tools, but the tools that have a social flavor to it. So, as human beings, we are more inclined to interact well on a very social style, right? All of us like using social media because of the style of the conversations, or because of how human and personal it is. So, we have made workplace to be that kind of a human, personal, collaborative suite with elements like the social flavor added in, so that you don't miss talking to your colleagues that much, even when you're in front of your laptops or mobile phones or any device. For example, here is a Word document, and there are two people working on it simultaneously. As you can see, there are color differentiations to clearly show, what is going on or who is typing what. And if you happen to have questions, you can highlight a word or a paragraph and drop in as a comment as well. So, as you can see, this is a plain old Word document, but made beautiful by all these co working elements and collaborative elements. With options to comment, to collaborate, or discuss over the Word documents. The same social flavor applies to your spreadsheet as well. So here also you can see how two people are commenting and even tagging someone when they have a question, and working on putting together this spreadsheet together instead of working separately and then merging them. And of course, presentations. So even this event, both of us, Ku and I, are co-presenting, but we had to work from different time zones. We had to work on the same presentation at the same time. So we had challenges, but then Zoho shows collaborative elements came to our rescue. I can see the changes that Ku is making. He can see the changes that I'm making. And then we can leave in common so that he can check at a time of his convenience, because we are around 2.5 hours apart. So this way we are able to create such beautiful stories and presentations and presents to all of you. So this helps us create documents, spreadsheets, or presentations together, just like we used to do from an office atmosphere. And these inputs are real time. Let's say I'm working on a document, and probably there are 10 people on the document, but I want to give my input to just one person. So in that case, I can just choose to just comment for the author and not for all the collaborators. I can just tag this person and keep the comment private, so that it is between the two of us. And during cases when you want everybody to pitch in, then you can keep the comment visible to all collaborators. So that way, the flexibility, privacy, and the controls are also very tight and flexible, helping you to use it the way you want. And even the inputs that you get, as you can see here, they're all real time. As and when somebody is commenting, I will be able to see it. And as and when I'm typing something, they will also get to see that I'm currently working on the document, rather than getting to know that later. And these are all human inputs, right? So what if you are not satisfied with the human inputs? What if you want more? You want to make your document even better professionally, and in the language sense. So that is where our intelligent assistant, Zia, she comes in. So she gives you a lot of suggestions. As you can see here, she points out spelling errors or grammar suggestions, and even gives you a reading score. So the document right here has a score of 62, implying that it is easy for somebody to read this document. And there are a lot of other suggestions, like writing quality suggestions, and many more here happening from somebody other than your colleague. So Zia is like the artificial intelligent teammate that you have by default when you use any of these tools. So Zia turns into an amazing analyst when it comes to spreadsheets. So when we have rows after rows of data, it's sometimes very difficult to understand the data, comprehend it, and make sense out of it, right? So that's when Zia comes in and generates all these automatic charts and graphs. And there is also a part where you can ask Zia a question. So, hey Zia, this is a document of my sales. So, which country is doing the best? So, which sales representative has sold most? And these questions, just like a conversations, you can ask Zia, and the Zia will don her analyst hat and give you clear and great answers for that. And when we work together, especially on a spreadsheet, you can have the fear that it is going to give us lots of duplicate data, rows and rows, because when two people are working on putting together data in a single spreadsheet, sometimes we may actually populate the same data over and over again, or sometimes even mispopulating some of the columns, or have some typos, etc. So what we do here at Zoho Sheet is we enable one-click data cleaning. It's as easy as that. I can show you a few examples of how that happens. You can also drop in your questions if you have any, be it product specific or bundle specific. You can use the question tab. I wanted to remind you of that. So continuing with what I was talking to you about, so when we type, and when we type fast, and some of us are using a mobiles, so it's a smaller screen, so it's we are prone to make mistakes, especially typos, and this gives rise to a lot of inconsistencies. As you can see here, you can find out these typos and these inconsistent spellings and all of that, capitalizations, capital letters, small letters. You can pick them out, you can pick the inconsistencies and replace it with a single format, with a single word, so that throughout the spreadsheet you have this consistent capitalization and consistent fonts running around. And then you have the ability to remove duplicates. You can sort or find out the records by a particular field. So in this case, order ID. And unfortunately, a lot of us have input the same order again and again. So using the remove duplicates option, you can quickly remove that so that there is only one row representing a single order and there are no duplicates. And then there are cases where we miss out filling some of the columns, right? So I can use the fill missing values option and either replace the missing columns with a default value, or pick the value from the previous column or the next column. So there are several options for you to choose from, and so that you don't have a half filled spreadsheet. So this way, even the cleaning happens in just a single click instantly, and you don't have to worry about banging your heads to figure that out. So, and then after working together on all of these documents, so that's all great. You all work together on Word documents, on spreadsheets. So, everywhere you're working together. But what if it is in different places, difficult to find and locate, right? So, we cannot afford to lose time searching for files when we should actually be spending that time on working on these files. So this is why we propose in Zoho Workplace a common place for all these files with very good categorization. So this is how Work Drive, our file storage looks like. So as you can see, there are team folders. You can create a folder for each team, and then add members to it, and each of these members will have different roles. So this folder will be accessible only to this team, and you can add in subfolders, your documents and everything, and it makes it easy. So you can just look at it and say, okay, this is the design folder, this is where my design files have to go, and this is the HR folder, this is where I have to put in the resumes I get, or etc. So this way, you have a clear place to put in all your files, and you keep working on that file so that nobody is working on a different version, right? So this streamlines the entire file storage for everybody in your team, no matter where they are. And like I said, they have specific roles. So if you're the administrator, you can define what the level of accessibility some person will have. Not everybody need to be admins or organizers. So you may want a few teammates to only be able to read the documents, and you want few others to be able to write on it, etc. So you have different roles like viewer, editor, organizer, and admin, and you can assign these roles accordingly, so that you don't only have a single place to store, but you have a perfect way to actually streamline and control who gets to access these documents. So this OneDrive file system also has an external share feature. So if you want to share a document with someone outside your organization, you can create a link exclusive for that. There's no need to add them to the organization, and they will be able to access it. And you also get visibility into who has accessed it and how many downloads this file has, etc. And there are other information like the activity, who has opened the document, who has worked on it, and what is the current version of the document, and other general info. So all of this in one place gives you easy visibility into all the files in your team and all the files that you are co-creating together with your teammates. So that is great. We have a way to create them, we have a way to store them, and we have a way to have complete visibility into what is going on in the team. So next comes a very important part, emails. Email. If I ask you, do you think email is dead, or do you think email is a very old way of communicating? I don't think all of us can agree, because even though this has been existent for so many years, still as business communications we depend a lot on business email, right? So we still have to send emails, especially for conversations outside our organization. We do need emails, but the old concept of forwarding emails, waiting for replies, that has to go. So that is why we brought a collaborative element inside email as well. So here, as you can see, you don't have to forward, you just have to share the email. And when you share, you can tag a person and share it, or even tag a group and share it. So this is an email that has come in. I can just tag a person and say, hey, this email has come in. What do you think we should do next? And the entire planning can happen in the context of the email. So you don't have to worry about seeing an email and then going and contacting the person and putting it all together. You open the email and everything is there right in front of you. The discussions, the decisions, and all of it through the email sharing option we give in Zoho Mail. So as you can see, discussions happen over it. So the sharing has happened. You can tag and share. You can choose to share the entire thread or specific emails in the thread. And once the group is shared, you go over to streams in Zoho Mail. And as you can see, all of the shared conversations are here. This is a group conversation. You can create group tasks, or you can post a message to the entire group. So who even thought that email would be this collaborative, right? So email, we often see it as a boring and boring, mundane tool, but it need not be, and that is what we are trying to change with Zoho Mail, bring in all these collaborative elements, so that you have best of both worlds, both formal email and a very socialized email. And that's what you do with emails. What about the drafts? Let's say I have to mail this really, really important client and I have drafted the email. Like I said at the beginning, in my office, I'll just ask my colleague to scooch over, sit, and discuss it. But now I can do that, right? So this option, share draft, helps me do just that. So I can just share this email, say, okay, cool, here is the email that I have typed, but I'm not very sure. Is my language right? Is my tone right? Can you help me? So that's what I do. I share the draft, and then Ku here will put his comments. He'd either say this is perfect, or he'll say this is horrible. Change this. So like this, you have real time feedback, and you keep making not only your documents better, but also your email better. And it'll be between Ku and me. The person I'm emailing will not know that a lot of brainstorming has actually gone behind the email. He will just be happy, he or she will just be happy to receive a beautifully crafted email. So that way, even on emails, you will be able to collaborate together and discuss. So all of these makes working together almost like talking to a friend, sitting in front of your laptop and feeling as if this person is there with you all along. So that is a great value add to the kind of work that we do. um, then you have figured out working together, but not everything is under our control, right? So especially with the connectivity, right now I'm talking to you and it's raining quite heavily outside, and I'm hoping that this internet does not have any problems. So all of us have such problems. We have to move constantly, especially if you're working from home. You may have responsibilities where you have to go and pick something up, or you have to constantly keep moving and switching. So that is a challenge to continue working even when you're not in a fixed location. In an office space, it's different. You come and sit, and nobody's going to disturb you, and till evening or night, you're going to be here. But that changes in the remote work culture. So that is one other very important challenge. So in this case, the locations are changing, the devices are changing, and unfortunately, the signal strength on our laptop or our phone are changing, especially in a when you're traveling. If you're in a subway, or if you are somewhere else in your trains going from one place to another, you're going to have very weak signals or even go completely offline. So all of this is bound to happen. So during these times we have a lot of questions. So do I have to be glued to my laptop? Does it mean that when I'm traveling I have to close my laptop and wait until the travel is over? Is that what software has done to me, make me glued to my laptop? Or what happens when I switch devices? So probably I'm home working on this laptop and I have to go out. So I have my mobile, I have the app. But what happens when I switch? How do I continue? This is a very important question that we have. And then poor internet. Just frustrating. Probably the Wi Fi where you are is bad, or your own internet connection is having fluctuations. And that brings up the question, okay, I have been typing this, but the internet has gone. So, what happened to my work? Do I have to redo it? Because most times we don't even realize that the internet is gone. So, what happens then? And can I switch apps? So, I'm here within mail or I'm here within chat. So, can I switch to a different app and figure out what to do? Is that easy or is that difficult? Because all of us use multiple apps, especially if you are in business communication, multiple apps, there is no way to avoid it. So how do we switch from one to the other without losing context? So these are very important questions we have. So the solution here can only be that your tools enable you to access your documents or your work even when offline. And data has to naturally sync between your devices and naturally sync back when your connection is restored. So that can be the only solution to continue your work without having any stoppages or without having any interruptions. So, how do we achieve that in Zoho Workplace? So, we are going to take a look at that. So, workplace apps are available across all devices. Do you have a watch that you carry? Do you have an iPad, your laptop, or of course your phone? So, everywhere you have the apps available, and most of the basic functionalities will be available in even the smallest of devices, your mobile phone or even the watch. So you can continue doing what you were doing on your laptop even when you're not on your laptop. And for the mobile phone, you even have a single place to launch all of these apps. So here you can see a beehive structure of apps all listed out. So from a single place, you can launch these apps, open them, and start work. And these apps are all available in a single place. Great news. But what if I have to search for something? Do I have to go into mail, search for it, then go into chat and search for it? No, you don't. You have a single search console, even on your mobile, where you can input your term and you have all the results, be it in mail or click or work drive or any other app that you are using within workplace. So this simplifies the whole searching operation too, making it easy for you to find something on the go. And you can start right where you left off. So this is my click screen on the laptop. So let's say I step out and I have been typing something on the mobile phone. So when I come back to my laptop, I want to be able to switch to the laptop instantly. So I don't have to finish the mobile phone and then come here. So that's the beauty about it. If you see in the left side, you will see these small yellow icons. So they denote that these are drafts. So something that I started typing somewhere else or even on my laptop, doesn't matter where I started, but I will have it as drafts. So now if I open my mobile, right on top, I will have the drafts. So I can start right where I left off. Even if I forget to press the send button, my drafts, my content will still be there. So I don't have to type it again, or if there is poor internet, it'll still be there, and I can start from right there. So this is something that I find really useful. So if you do too, I think you should give us a thumbs up or say yes in the chat. So this makes it very easy to continue from where you leave off, and everything is synced real time. So when there's something happening in the laptop, in real time, the same data is available in my phone and other devices. So the sync is real time and smooth, so you don't have to worry about waiting. So everything is to sync up. Yes, Imran says yes, so I'm sure he also faces the same problem that I do, and I'm happy he agrees. So this is the beauty of our apps and email also, right? Even when traveling in the flight, I mean, right now it's not a possibility to actually travel overseas in airplanes, but when we used to travel, probably across countries or time zones, there's a lot of time lost in transit. So, what if you can use that time to check your emails and draft your replies? I know that if I had said this many years ago, people would have laughed at me. I mean, the first thing they say in an airplane is to switch off your internet, right? So, how can we change? It doesn't matter. If you have the offline access enabled in Zoho Mail, you can just read your emails even when you're traveling or when there is zero internet. And you can even draft replies, they will be available. And once connection is restored, the emails will be sent out from your outbox. So just enable offline mail and get some work done even when you're traveling or even when internet has betrayed you. So even writing, right? That is also a good thing to do when you travel. You don't have any disturbance, you can just concentrate and write. Probably when you have internet, there is somebody pinging you, there's somebody asking you for something, and there are distractions. So this offline mode is actually kind of a blessing because you can just put the internet off and keep writing, keep the creative juices flowing, and once the connection is restored, you will have it synced up and your teammates can view your document. So don't stop writing even when there is no connection. And WorkDrive also has the desktop sync option. If you prefer to work the old way from desktop from files and local storage, you can enable the desktop sync and continue working even when offline. And so these apps separately, they work really well. And I was talking about the challenge of switching between these apps, so also together. So the apps not just help us collaborate, the apps are also in a way collaborating with each other. There is good connection between these apps, and these apps talk to each other and pass information from one to the other. So I can show you a few examples for that. For example, when you are chatting and there is an important message that comes up, hey, this is an event, or this is a problem that I'm facing, click here will suggest meaningful next steps. So there are a lot of message actions, as you can see. I have just placed a few. There are many, many if you keep scrolling. So click suggest, okay, do you want to add this as a note to your email? Or do you want to add this to your CRM? Or probably log this as a ticket because this is an issue. So many other different options are available here through click integrations. So you can just choose what to do with a message. So who said a message is just for reading and replying? You can even take actions based on that messaging, and that's really smart and intelligent and important in a time like this. Also, you receive an email and you're not sure about what's happening here and you want to clarify your doubts about this email, so you can just click on chat about this email, and a chat box pops up with the name of the email. So, for example, if I want to chat with Rebecca about this email, so she will know instantly that this is the email that I'm talking about, that I want to discuss about. So I don't have to explain to her what I want to talk about, etc. She has the context right and there. So you have the chat about this email option right inside your mailbox. And then not just chatting, you can do several other things, a lot of other integrations. Right here there is a projects integration going on. Ku here in his next session will actually talk more about these integrations. You can see them in actions. So this way the software suggests meaningful steps for you, next steps for you, and saves you a lot of time, and helps you connect between your apps. There is a connection between all of the apps, whatever work you are doing, and you don't have to worry about switching from one app to the other. The connection is really smooth and data flows from one app to the other. So you can keep going forward, you can keep moving your work forward, and continue to work uninterrupted, irrespective of connectivity issues or irrespective of the number of apps you are using. And that's really a blessing, I should say, to be able to do that, especially when we are apart. I think Ku here will agree with me. He has been nodding for so long, so I think he also faces these challenges. But I'm not sure the challenges stop here. There are many more challenges. So what do you think, Ku? I will transfer it back to you and you can talk about your specific challenges.
Sure. Thank you so much, Berlin. Before I start off my challenge, I wanted to say that it's a very interesting session that you have previously, and I run out of excuses to not work on a plane. Even if we reopen. So I do not know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for those frequent travelers. So you can ride anywhere. So that's a very good thing. So the next part I want to talk about is about over communicating and under communicating. So in this picture, you see that a group of people, teammates, are trying to communicate and collaborate with each other. However, um, when we are not at our workplace and we are using we have a different tempos and different schedules, sometimes the best mode of communication may not be that one that we envision for our teammate. One colleague may be very good with the emails and the long essays, but at a certain circumstance, while fetching the son, while attending to an elderly at home, he may not have that avenue to read your 20 paragraph emails and stuff like that. So we also have different types of customers and teammates at work. So imagine if this thing can happen to us when we are dealing with teammates. How about our customers? Because when we are interfacing with our customers, surely we want to fine tune the type of communication modes or the medium we have with our customers. After all, customers is the reason why we stay in business today. So, I would like to do a simple poll on, have you experienced this before? So maybe I'd rather describe this scenario before. So, when I'm working mobilely on my mobile phone, and then I have somebody who is, uh, in the office. Somehow, there's people that have reopened and they went back to the office, decided to send me, a long paragraphs of, email instructions about the contracts. So have you ever, encountered this before? Or another scenario when you're on leave or you're not feeling well, and suddenly you get many emails coming to you asking, "Hey, cool, can you do this? Hey, cool, can you read this 20-page or 30-page marketing proposal?" So perhaps let me start this poll so that probably I can get a sensing of whether any of the attendees have faced this within the last 6 months. So just to have a gauge of um, the type of demographics and the type of industry of how this problem actually affected the you or something like that. Thank you so much for the response. It seems that there is a high percentage of more than 10 times to 30 times. There's a high percentage. So imagine, in the past 6 months, you get a bit of a mismatched communication style. And sometimes when you're not in the office, like right now, you can see, you can see me. And sometimes when you write a long email and paragraphs, it may sound very mean. And sometimes the way we communicate also depends on visual cues and tonality. So sometimes the long email may mean nothing to the to your colleague. It all the mail just goes to him, and in his mind he will just be thinking, hey, is this more job, is this more instructions coming from you? It's like what instructions again? So the solution for this is to have a right sizing type of communications with a platform that offers multiple options, so that you can select the best options to communicate with a teammate or customer correctly. So you will have different types of customers, and you have different types of teams. Some teams are more mobile, like what you see on the left. So some teams may have, let's say, a creative guy who is probably working out during on leave. So you wanted him to do a quick check on the creatives. You just wanted him to agree or not agree. Surely you will want to send him a business chat. And then if you need to have a face-to-face interaction with your customers or prospects, you want to use something like a Zoho meeting, so that you can actually see the customer and understand how you do the sales negotiations and stuff like that. And maybe I just like to share one feature that commonly that's what we use. So the Zoho Click, this is our business and team chat app. So what I personally use it for is, I find that the remote work part works exceptionally well for me, because I'm away from my teammates, and everybody is working in their own homes. So when I compare the top picture and the bottom picture, can I have some chats? Can you tell me who will respond to your chat messages in the next 5 to 10 minutes? Who has a higher chance? So if you think that the version one, can you just give me a one on the chat? Okay, it seems that probably our attendees are very comfortable, so I'm not seeing much response. So we'll give another 2 to 3 seconds. Yeah. So anyway, coming back to this, uh, having the opportunity or having the option to set the status actually matters in communications, because sometimes when we are a part of a member of a team, we want to let our managers know that, hey, I'm off for lunch. So uh, in a nice way, I may not be able to respond to you because I'm having my lunch. And we always respect that, because you know having lunch and enjoying lunch is something that we want all our teammates to do. After all, you don't want to disturb them during lunch, because end of the day you want them to cooperate with you, and you do not want them to be in a very a difficult situation. So the next part is that when I want to share some creative ideas, and I want to communicate different perspectives, I am able to use these annotations within the chat app, that I can, provide simple and quick and in-app kind of annotations, so that I can tell my team, which part they need to do um, amendments, or which part did they get it right, or something like that. So there are people who try to convey such messages using the old school way, because probably I'm a millennial, so I think like a millennial. But imagine if you use email to convey the same message, nobody is going to read, and then you're gonna get delayed, and then the whole project may be delayed, and it may also fail. Yeah. So next, what happens if the message doesn't is not clear enough, or do you want to see your colleague? So if you want to see your colleague, you know so probably you can use a click. There's a trans You can seamlessly transit to an audio or video call with a click. Okay. So next, what happens if you really want to use email? you really, really want to use email, just in case you need to send information, but then you may want to clarify it. So what happens? What is the additional feature that we have? We can actually have this um, attachment viewer for you to attach the correct attachments, to find the attachments. And if you are unable to find the attachments and you need to schedule a meeting to maybe discuss about the attachment before you send it out, there's also a integrated Zoho meetings that's into Zoho Mail, which enables you to start meetings or schedule meetings, without really leaving your seat or interface. And then if you happen to know that, hey, you have a colleague that may not be able to join the meeting, what happens? You will still be able to select the option to use a business chat to chat with the particular person who may not be able to attend the meeting. So this actually works well. So you can actually use multiple options to fine tune the type of communication channel to reach out to the person you want to reach out. And the experience will be a very smooth and a pleasant one. So how about the organization-wide communications? If you wanted to place an announcement on a notice board, you could do it physically if you are in the office. However, right now when everybody's working remotely, working from home, uh, what is the best way that we can do this? So inside Zoho Workplace, we have Zoho Connect. So Zoho Connect enables us to adopt this organization-wide communications. So announcements, feeds, and polls can be launched to communicate with a departmental or organization-wide. So you can even have organization menus in one place, and you can have the respective uh, POCs or the point of contact to even update these policies as we progress. So there can be amendments made, and for the staff and the teammates, they can actually follow certain manuals to get updates about the company policies. And how about town halls? Town halls is like a assembly place online where you can listen to your founder or listen to your departmental managers, so that you have any questions you can ask them in Ask Me Anything session. And all of this Q&A will be actually curated and stored in one place. So for those organization members who are able to attend the live session, it is good because you have a live interaction with the person launching the town hall. But for those remote sales people that probably get to miss it, probably due to maybe time zone difference, or probably you're also engaged in another meeting, you can always revisit the town halls. The town halls will also be there to curate certain information, so that you do not have information gaps within your organization. So this picture actually shows the right sizing communications with Zoho Workplace. So you can use the business chat app within Click to have a one-to-one communications, or one to a few people in communications. And for people who need to send a large attachments across probably different departments, or even to the external prospects and customers, can use Zoho Mail and Zoho Meetings. And then for organization wide, or even to another network, you can even use Zoho Connect, which also supports the external partner network. So right sizing communications will ensure that you can choose the correct medium and the correct sizing of the communication channel to reach out to different groups of people. So if one mode doesn't work, probably at a certain moment of a time, you can actually switch to the next mode to ensure that you have a connectivity with the person you want to reach. So that is my challenge 3. And for the last challenge that we'll be sharing today, I'd like to share about this lack of context across different. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of chats coming in. Thank you for all the response, attendees. So this challenge uh, is actually for a lot of people, including myself before I joined Zoho. So we are using a lot of different apps. So you will have one app for email, one app for storage, and probably another app for work processing. And sometimes when you're looking through or when you're trying to collaborate, create, and communicate with external party, you may not know which app talks to which one. So like what Perlin has shared previously. So who's working on this document? Is this the latest version? I wish I had some input. All these questions actually go on in the minds of, let's say, an intern or an employee who has onboarded during the work from home or the remote working conditions. Because for a person who are newly joined a company, you know, how would the person know that, hey, is this the latest version? Because that file sent in the email might be you know a 3rd of December final version cool, and then shortly in another half an hour another person may send another attachment, final. It might be a final Perlin plus cool final. So you get all sorts of naming conventions, and you do not know which version is the really final version. And then you may not be able to find the presentations that you will need to use. You may not get the inputs that you want to get. For instance, you can complete a presentation and then you send the presentation to your manager. And what happens if your manager is on leave for that 3 days and somehow she doesn't open her email? What happens? You're going to waste 3 days waiting for, oh yeah, yes, this presentation looks good. So this is a very outdated way to work. So this is a challenge faced by not only by myself and for everybody. I'm having less of this problem because Zoho runs on Zoho. But according to IDC data, the average knowledge worker spends about 2.5 hours per day searching for information. So if you are spending 2 hours a day, or probably if you're spending 1 hour a day just to search for information, I can ensure you, I feel for you that that day, that 1 hour of experience is actually a not pleasant one. So we all, all of us are here to do work and create stuff. We are not treasure hunters trying to find uncover documents in a trash pile or something like that. So we understand the value of curating files and documents properly. So this is a photo of what goes on in the mind of a person who wakes up at 9 o'clock trying to read his email and trying to reach the end of the bridge. So every day, if you're working in an organization and you need to read the emails to really understand, okay, what is it in for me today? Do I need to do anything? And then you may need to download any attachments from your email, work on the email, that attachments, and probably send the attachment for review. So imagine this person trying to get through the day. It's like a walking through this broken bridge. This broken bridge is found somewhere in Southeast Asia, so it's not a pleasant experience. So the lack of context between the applications we use, this is the mental image of how the day will be like for the person. So our solution is to provide a contextual integrations with in-house and third-party applications. So, like for me, the first thing you do not want to miss a file again is that we have a test board. So, test board is a reminder board that works very well whenever a teammate shares a file with me. And if I forget the file name, you know, I personally I do not want to go and find the teammate. Hey, hey teammate, um, I forgot your file name again. Can you tell me the file again? It will sound very unprofessional, and sometimes I may not want to bug people. People might think that, hey, cool, why you keep on? You cannot find your file. I mean, are you ready for work? So having this test board, reminds me all the time that I know who shares file with me. I'll be able to find the correct version of the file because we are all working with the same version. So next, probably I can share what does all the bots do. So the bots can be a conversational assistants. While working in a big team environment like a Zoho, when you have more than 9,000 employees, What happens if, suddenly 10% of them start to click you? You are not gonna go through, you know, 900 or 900 emails. You're gonna get a lot of hello, hello, hi, hi, cool, hi, cool. So conversational assistance actually help me get the context of, you know, who this person is trying to contact me for, and I'll know what department he's for, from, and I'll know what kind of file he requires me to, go through. So there are also notifications, so that if people make changes to a certain file, I'll be able to know the changes being made, so that I will not be caught off guard. And then I can use some of the bots to even get data across other apps. So probably I'll share what other apps there's also available. So when you're on Zoho Mail, like this happens to be the standard for me when I work remotely. So you will use Mail, and what happens if you need to sign contracts or sign agreements? So I'm not going to uh, download that attachment. Sometimes when I download the attachment, and after I download the attachment, and sometimes maybe my wife or my Grab food arrive, and I go and take some Grab food, or I go and do some household chores, and then I'll think that, hey, did I miss anything? Did, and sometimes you'll think that, hey, did, you really cannot remember what you really miss, because you cannot remember what you cannot remember. So I felt that important things we must do immediately. So signing stuff, when you get the email from your boss or your client, and your client already give you the approval or the permission, as a good salesperson, what should you do? Just sign the agreement and then get it over with. So we shouldn't miss time. We shouldn't waste time. So getting a Zoho sign integrated with Zoho Mail works best for salespeople and those people in the that needs to do a e-sign. So, and not only does it come with integration with Zoho Sign, we are also integrated with a lot of the ecosystem of Zoho apps, such as Zoho Work Drive, Zoho Meetings, Zoho CRM. So you can actually fetch information from the CRM and cross-reference your mail, so that you know the context of the recipient or the sender. So you know that immediately this person is somebody who has purchased from you before, or this person is a warm lead, or it may be a cold lead that has started to become warm again. So a lot of contextual information from the CRM is valuable insights to the person that working from home. And what happens if you're not fully on Zoho, and you're still using some other third-party applications? Zoho's applications also work well, also play well with other applications. So we are also integrated with other third-party apps. And this is how the whole experience look like. Even though we are talking about many different types of applications, but all of these applications form one single integrated suite. So this is how it looks like. And one time, there was a session that I cannot find some of my teammates. It seems that all of them are busy. So I was thinking to myself, hey, is there a meeting that's going on? And then, perhaps I've forgotten to join the meeting. And guess where I look? I look at the meeting part, the meeting bar, and then I know that, oh yeah, there's some meeting, and then I joined instantaneously. And then, even though I'm working on my mail and my work drive and my chat, I will still look out for things that go on in my connect, because connect is my organization wide kind of communication board. So with this integrated suite, I am having a better visibility over how my day is going to go, how my week is going to go, and how my month is going to go. So it gives me a very comfortable environment to work. And I'm even equipped with a unified calendar, which even helps me, plan activities, understand what activities or the load that my other colleagues are also facing, my teammates are also facing, because you do not want to plan an activity when somebody you want to collaborate with is unavailable. So this actually helps me in my planning, and also understanding the load of my fellow teammates. And then this is even better. I get unified tasks. So I will know, whether my project management is being run correctly. I also get some data being fed by my Zoho CRM, my Zoho Connect. So this is where I get the unified task. So I'm getting some chats here. Okay, great. Okay, I'm not missing out on anything. So, and sometimes when you have so many things on your plate, you may think that, okay, what happens if you forget a certain file, or you want to locate a file easily. So when we have so many files, we are not going to go through folder by folder. Fortunately, we have a content search feature in Zoho Work Drive, which is our cloud storage. So this enables us to find files easily. So when we key in, let's say, a keyword like Singapore, we can find all the documents pertaining with the keyword Singapore. And what happens if you need to search across your Zoho apps? So because of the way we build our apps, and all of these apps in this integrated suite are not are homegrown and created by the same developmental team. So we can have a contextual ZIA search, which is our and intelligent assistant search. So like Pearlin, what she said earlier, not only she can turn analyst and help you check your grammar, help you improve writing and help you with your data. It also helps you search across different multiple Zoho apps that you may use. So, after I've said, the two challenges and I provided some solutions, what's next? So probably I can hand this over to Pearlin, so that Pearlin can share with us what's next. Over to you, Pearlin.
Yes, thanks, Ko, for the great session so far. Some of the challenges about interacting with other apps, I can really relate a lot to all of them. And I'm sure it's useful for our guests here too. So, we spoke about a lot of challenges, solutions for these challenges. So, now it's time to take a step back and look at workplace as a whole and what other important factors you should consider before you use workplace. But before that, let's all take a moment probably to catch a small, teeny tiny break. And during this time, I will start out a poll right now. So we spoke about a lot of challenges. So which is your, which is the one that you face the most? So there are four options right here. I would like to see your votes, um, to see what you think, so that yes, the votes have started coming in. I'm getting a lot of votes for all of the options right here. Yes, okay, that's great. Thank you for voting. Keep voting. Those of you who haven't voted already, we would like to know the scene of the things at your end as well. Okay, so almost on the same level are connectivity issues and communication hiccups. So right there, connectivity kind of went above communication hiccups. So the most difficult challenge that you all have been having is with connectivity. Thanks for responding. I'll have this closed, and I'm sure that all these offline options will help you with overcoming the connectivity issues. You should try it out. And also, there were questions about the Facebook link. So it happens to be a regional page. So if you are in the region, you will be able to access it. So if you want access to Zoho Workplace pages, we have Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So a teammate will now post those links in chat for you. So they are workplace specific Zoho pages where we post Zoho workplace updates, the events that are coming in, not just APAC, but across other regions as well. So if you're from some other region and you want to keep a tab on what's going on, then probably these are the links to go. Thank you, Arun, for posting them for us. So you will find that in the chat. And some of you have to leave right now. We understand the session is being recorded, and if there is any other thing that you would need, you can feel free to contact us, and we will provide you with the materials. So I think you've all had a break, had some water to drink, especially Ku after talking for so long. Keep yourself hydrated. So let me go ahead talking about workplace. So we just covered some of the problems that you have and some of the ways that workplace can help you overcome these challenges. There are many, many more, and the workplace has a trial which you can explore, use, and see to get a first-hand feeling. So this is Workplace, all 9 apps in one place. So what are these 9 apps? There is Mail for business email, Click for chat, Connect for social intranet, Writer for Word documents, Sheet for spreadsheets, Show for presentations. OneDrive is your file storage, Showtime, the app that we are in right now to broadcast training sessions and meeting for online meetings. So all of this in one place, in one integrated interface. This is how it looks. Just one tab. You don't have to even switch tabs. You have all of the apps here and different widgets, as Ku had shown you a little earlier, which gives you the most recent work items. So as soon as you log in, you come in, just like going to your desk. If you go to your desk, there is a calendar right there. There is something popping up in your laptop. You have your sticky notes right there. So think of this as your virtual desk. You have your sticky notes, your calendars, your files, everything right in front of you. So that is the advantage of using Workplace. And then the most important questions that all of us should ask, whether you're a small business, enterprise, doesn't matter. Our data is ours alone. Your data is yours alone. So you should be concerned about privacy and security. And we can assure you that our solutions, Zoho as a whole, places a lot of importance on privacy and security. We do not run ads on any of our services, and we give complete importance to security. There is two-factor authentication when you sign in, and all your data is encrypted end to end. Your files are encrypted, and if you have clients, even if you are not in the Europe region, if you have clients in Europe region, you have to comply to GDPR, and our apps are GDPR compliant as well. We have been ISO certified with the most latest certificates, and these are just a few of the certifications we have. If you visit Zoho's privacy security page, if one of you can help post the links in chat, it will be helpful. Zoho's privacy and security page, please. So you can visit these links to show about all of the different certificates that we have and the laws that we abide with. So you can be completely assured that your data is secure and it is yours alone. It is completely private. And what if you have a lot of people in your team, but not all of them need the same level of permissions? Let's say you have someone who only needs to access mail, and you have yourself and you need access to the entire bundle, or you have somebody else who can have just a minimal access to some of the apps alone. So we also have the ability to mix and match plans. 20 people in the organization, few of them can be on mail light, few on workplace plans. So we can help you onboard on such a flexible plan. So you can get in touch with us, and if you want to actually talk about this, you can just put it in chat and we will reach you after the session, and we can go over this little bit more in detail.